What's up, everyone? Welcome into Today in the NA. I'm Vinny Paracelli. We are in beautiful Southern California for the NAHL Combine happening here in Irvine this weekend. But the intensity is heating up on the ice as the Roberts Cup Division semifinals are underway. We have a couple teams advancing. We have to go through the other series as well. But first, we got to get to the latest NCAA commitments.
Nico Shemlevsky of the Bismarck Bobcats will be playing his college hockey at Wisconsin-Stevens Point. The Michigan native spent the last 3 seasons in Bismarck, playing in 26 games this year, having 3 goals and 10 points. In 122 career games, Shemlevsky's notched 20 goals and 49 points. Janesville Jets defenseman Jacob Delaney has committed to Miami. He appeared in 5 games for the Jets this year and had a goal and an assist. Then we have goaltender Noah Ruprecht of the Minot Minotauros. He has committed to Long Island University. Ruprecht spent the previous 2 seasons in Odessa. This year with Minot, he went 9-8 with a 3.06 goals against average and a .905 save percentage to go with 1 shutout. Maryland defenseman Gunnar Van Dam has committed to the University of Alaska Anchorage. He played in 58 games for the Black Bears, scoring 3 goals and 28 points. He was selected to play in the Top Prospects tournament where he had a goal, and through 3 playoff contests, he has a goal and 3 points. Alright, let's recap the first weekend of the Robertson Cup playoffs. We saw some great action, including the second longest game in NAHL history. Of the 16 games last week, we saw 6 of those games needing overtime. Let's start in the Central with the top-seeded Austin Bruins and the 4th-seeded Minot Minotauros. The Bruins needed overtime heroics from Jackson Luther to take game 1 after Minot scored twice in the final 2 minutes. Austin will be victorious on Saturday night as well, this time a little less dramatic, a 4-2 win at Riverside Arena. In the other semifinal, it's been all about Ethan Dahlmeyer and his ability to almost shut out the Aberdeen offense. Both games saw the Norsemen get out to an early lead and then standing tall behind goaltending of Dahlmeyer. They won Game 1 by a score of 2-1 and took Game 2 by a score of 2-0. So not a ton of offense coming from the Norsemen either, but it's more than enough if they're only giving up 1 goal every 2 games. They take both games on the road and now have the ability to close out the series tonight on home ice. We head over to the East Division where the Maryland Black Bears have already advanced to the East Division Finals. They dominated the Northeast Generals Game 1, winning easily 8-2. The following night they put 62 shots on goal but still needed overtime and a bounce off Brad McNeil to score the 3-2 win in Game 2. In Game 3 this past Wednesday, the Black Bears struck first again on the power play to get the opening lead. Northeast would tie it at 1, but that tie would not last long as Maryland scored just before the end of the second to make it 2-1. They would add another in the third for some insurance, and that would be it. The Black Bears sweep the series 3-0 over the Generals, bringing the Northeast season to an end. In our other semifinal, it's the Maine Nordiques moving on to the East Division Finals as they swept the defending champion New Jersey Titans. In Game 1, Thomas Haney pitched a 33-save shutout as the Nordiques took that one over the Titans by a score of 3-0. In Game 2, the Titans would find the net 5 times, but after a Henrik Hallberg goal that tied the game with just over 5 minutes left, Brendan Gibbons scored at 7:29 of overtime to give Maine a 6-5 win in Game 2. And sent them home with a 2-0 series lead, stealing both games in Jersey. Then last night, Titans got the first goal, but then it was 5 unanswered from the Nordiques as they went on to win, going away by a score of 5-1, setting up a rematch in the 2021 East Division Finals. We move on to the Midwest Division where the Wisconsin Wendigo are a win away from the division finals. Max Beckford has been nearly unbeatable in goal for the Wendigo, allowing just 1 goal in each game so far. Wisconsin scored a 4-1 win in game number 1, and then in game 2, we needed overtime as 60 minutes only yielded a 1-1 score. A 3-on-1 for Wisconsin, and it's Sam Jacobs who's the overtime hero for the Wendigo. They put the Steel season on the brink as they have a 2-0 series lead heading to Chippewa Falls. The Wilderness made it to the Midwest Division Finals last season and are on the cusp of getting back there as they have a 2-0 series lead over the Kenai River Brown Bears. Once again, defense playing a big role for Minnesota. Isaac Posh has allowed just 2 goals in the 2 games. They took home a 3-1 decision in Game 1 last Friday. Then on Saturday, it was a 2-1 win for the Wilderness as they defended home ice. Now the series shifts to Kenai River where the Brown Bears are hosting their first playoff game in a very long time. If you recall, when they made the playoffs in 2021, they played all their playoff games in Minnesota, so it'll be nice to see their fans get a taste of playoff hockey in person. Now on to our final division, the South. Oh, baby, Oklahoma looks good. The Amarillo Wranglers came in with a 9-game winning streak, hottest team in the league, and the Warriors didn't flinch. They smacked Amarillo in the mouth with a 4-goal first period in Game 1 en route to a 5-2 decision. In Game 2 is kind of the same story as the Warriors grabbed a 6-2 win and a 2-0 series lead. The series now shifts to Amarillo where the Wranglers will attempt to keep their season alive. Then our only series where there's not an elimination game tonight, Lone Star and Shreveport. These 2 teams are as even as you can get. They needed 4 overtimes in Game 1, 126 minutes and 47 seconds, only 7 minutes short of the longest game in NAHL history. Antti Alteri notched the game winner in the 4th overtime to give the Brahmas a 2-1 win and a 1-0 series lead. Then the following night, because 4 overtimes weren't enough, they played another overtime game. This time it was Jaden Goldie potting the game winner for the Mudbugs. Shreveport wins game 2 3-2 and evens the series at 1, heading back to George's Pond. That series is guaranteed to have a game tomorrow night.
The rest are to be determined depending on tonight's outcomes in the Game 3s across the country. You can watch them all on NAHL TV. Follow the North American Hockey League on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for the latest content. Check out the Roberts Cup Playoff Hub for news, stats, and highlights all in one convenient spot. Check out the Short Shifts podcast if you haven't already with our playoff preview of the Robertson Cup playoffs. It's going to be an exciting night, an exciting weekend here in the North American Hockey League. Be sure to join us next week when we preview the Robertson Cup Division Finals.